Hi guys, welcome back to the channel. Today, we're gonna go through a list of repairs on this Honda Civic behind me. I'm gonna show you what repairs need to be done, why we're doing the repairs, and how much I charge for them. My name is Jeremy, this is Region Automotive, and let's get to work. So I'll just show you my parts pile here before we get started, and then we will work on each individual repair, and I'll show you how that goes. So the parts pile, in the back we have an alternator. It's making quite a bit of noise. We're suspecting it's coming from the alternator, but just for maintenance. We also have a new belt tensioner and a pulley. Then we have a new belt. We suspect, I'm gonna lift it up here and check that the oil pan is leaking. So I'm gonna reseal the pan. And then I got some O-rings that go through the oil filter housing. We have an engine light on for it taking a while to heat up. So we got a thermostat seal. New drain plug just to help prevent if it is leaking. Sometimes it comes from the drain plug as well, so we'll just do both. First, we're going to double check it is a pan, obviously, before I take all the effort to drop down from the pan. Sometimes it's just a plug. We will see once we get under there. And then front brakes, there's a slight pulse in the wheel, in the steering wheel when they brake. So we're just going to do front pads and rotors. And kind of looking around, like I saw a bit of moisture here, so I thought maybe rear main, but I took the cover off. I don't see any oil pulled up between the transmission and the engine. Same thing here on this side. I don't know how much you guys can see, but there's moisture on the cover. So I was thinking maybe a front main seal, but it seems to be higher. And then I was looking on this side, there's a bunch of oil pooled onto the bottom of the intake. And then I went up here, it's kind of trickling down the back of the engine. And the intake there on the back of the head, it looks like there's a fair amount of oil. So I'm thinking we just have a classic valve cover leak. Yeah, I hope for their sake it's not a head gasket, but it's more than likely just a valve cover leak, and it's just leaking. Like, I'm gonna drop it down and then we'll check the back of the valve cover there, and it's just leaking oil from the top all the way down to the engine. So for now, I'm not gonna touch the oil pan just because, like, I see that seal there and that's like bone dry. So I suspect if that is bone dry, then the rest of the oil pan's fine. So I'm not going to do that. So for now, I'm just gonna change oil, drain the oil, clean up as much as I can down here, and then we'll drop her down and see how our valve cover gasket looks. And while I'm down here, I'm also draining the coolant because the owner wanted a coolant flush, and it's actually a good thing that coolant's looking pretty light. I know this came from a more mild climate province, so it's possible that that's not rated for winter, which is good. So we have full coolant there to flush. And then he also wanted me to take a look and just kind of let him know anything else that I see while I'm under here. So one, I'm gonna recommend sway bar links. Those look shot. Other side as well, like the boots coming apart. And then the control arm bushing, the rear bushing there starting to split. Same thing on this side. So if you wanted this thing like 100% mechanically sorted, I would recommend sway bar links, control bushings, and I probably would do the sway bar bushings as well. Like, it looks like there's a fair amount of play there, and I bet you if I take the weight off the wheel, I could get a little bit of play there. So if you wanted to make this thing 100% mechanically sorted, fix that oil leak, control bushings, sway bar links, sway bar bushings. Other than that, everything actually looks pretty good under here. Like, there's really no rust on the undercarriage, so that's really good. The exhaust looks to be in decent shape. The rear springs aren't broken. The shocks don't seem to be leaking. I checked all the bushings back here. That seems okay. So I think they just bought this car. I think they did pretty good on it. We're just fixing up a couple small things here. Now that I have the top end of the motor torn apart here, we're learning some things. I think I found where our leak is. So yeah, it's quite common. There's like a little access cap on the side of the head here. It's quite common for that to leak. So instead of replacing it, it looks like someone just filled it with a bunch of RTV, which is crazy, but whatever. Anyway, it looks like it's leaking there. You can kind of see where the stream is leaking down the side, getting that bolt wet. So I'm pretty sure, I mean, I'm not 100% sure, but I'm pretty sure this would be where a lot of that leaks is coming from. Like, that's really all it takes is just one leak path. You know, you drive the car thousands of kilometers and miles of just that continuous little leak path that would cause that whole underside to be dirty. And then over to the alternators here, you can hear this guy, just that little bit of bearing noise is what we're hearing, and then this guy, perfectly quiet. And then it's good, we're also doing the belt at the same time, like it kind of had frays, and this belt looks quite old actually. Cracking on the inside, so we got a new belt there. So yeah, I'm gonna get, just for maintenance, we're gonna replace this tensioner as well. I have a new tensioner here, so I'm gonna get the old tensioner off, alternator, belt, fix this oil leak, and I think the customer should be doing pretty good. Oh yeah, last is the thermostat. I'll tell you why we're doing that once we get there. Well, I think we have a situation where one problem's hiding another, or the other problem's hiding the one problem, vice versa. So I took this as the tensioner off. Here's a pulley on the tensioner. That bearing is shot. That was a lot of the noise that was happening. Just for the new one for comparison. Let's touch my socket there. Yeah, anyway, you can't hear that at all. And then I think, pretty sure they're getting a code for low voltage as well. Like, there does seem to be some resistance and noise there. Versus there's like no noise. So pretty sure the alternator and that bearing was shot. I double checked the rest of our accessories. We have the AC compressor, power steering, or sorry, water pump. Like that seems good. That seems good. Power steering, that all seems fine. So I think with this new tensioner and pulley and alternator, she'll be nice and quiet. And then new belt obviously too. Now we're having a little break with something easier, which is nice. The thermostat, just couple 10 mil bolts for this wiring harness thing here. And then two 10 mil bolts for the housing. Came off, so I'm gonna pop the new thermostat in. Changing the brakes was also a bit of an ordeal. This side took me, I don't know, 15, 20 minutes, kind of what I expected per side, if that, 10 or 15. And then I went to the other side, and the rotor had these two set screws that hold the rotor on. Both of them were just absolutely seized in. Ended up breaking 3 of my bits. Like I just hammered the crap out of them in. I even heated up the screws. Ended up breaking 3 of the bits. The one was broken in the rotor. So the one screw I was able to drill out pretty easily because the bit wasn't in it. The other one was the bit was in it. So I literally just took an angle grinder, just hacked it apart until I got the rotor past the screw, or cut the screw out essentially. So anyway, that's done. I'm glad that's done. That grinder trick worked pretty well. And our last service we're doing before I start it up and start bleeding is bleeding the brakes. So I have this little one-man bleeding system. I put like a hose clamp on a hose, loosen the bleeder there, and then I tighten the hose clamp on so it can't fall off. And then I put the hose in a water bottle here, submerge it in brake fluid. So now I'm gonna drop the car, go up top, take out the old fluid, fill the reservoir with new fluid, and then I'll probably pump the pedal. I don't know, I usually do 15, 20 times for each rear wheel, and then 10 times or so for each front wheel, and then I'll call that flushed. Just before I suck out all that fluid, I figured I'd show you. It's pretty darn dirty, so it's also a good thing that we're flushing this out. Last step here, I got the brakes all bled off. There's the old fluid just for reference. So you can see how dirty that old stuff was, so it's good we got that out of there. Got the brakes all bled off, thermostat's all installed. Last thing I'm doing is just bleeding off the cooling system. And now you can hear too, it's nice and quiet, which is awesome. I think the customer will be quite happy with that. So yeah, we'll bleed it off and then we're done with the repairs. Okay, so now all the repairs are done. I figured I'd show you guys how I charge for this job. The alternator, this is all for parts and labor. Keep in mind, so the alternator, $283, thermostat, $114. The tensioner, pulley, and belt, $218. Front brakes was $230. Coolant flush, $103. Brake flush, $108. Diagnose and fix the oil leak, $270. Change the oil, $78. So that was a total for $1,400. Let me know what you guys think about that job. Did I charge too much? Did I charge too little? Or did I charge just the right amount? Regardless, thank you for watching the video. Don't forget to like, comment, subscribe, and have a good day.